This is the Town of Brookhaven Industrial Development Agency public hearing for the NP Winters Long Island Industrial LLC. I am going to wait a few minutes for people to join, and then I will read the notice of public hearing for the record.
Thank you. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Please have a seat. We're live streaming, just so you know it's being recorded.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm just going to give it a couple of minutes to see if anybody else shows up, and then I'm going to read the public hearing notice. And if you'd like to make comment, did you fill out the card?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Would you like to make comment?
Sure, thank you.
Okay, there.
Thank
you
you
go.
very much.
Do you need a pen?
I have one. Thank
Okay.
you.
So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Blew in or blew out? I can't remember because
I think blew out.
You think by now I know.
Yeah. I don't think so.
So, 30 minutes. What, minimum?
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. It is 11:34 a.m. This is the public hearing for the Brookhaven Industrial Development Agency. Project name is NP Winters Long Island Industrial LLC. I am going to read the public hearing notice for the record. Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing pursuant to Article 18A of the New York State General Municipal Law will be held by the Town of Brookhaven Industrial Development Agency, the agency, on the 8th day of December 2021 at 11:30 a.m. local time at the agency's offices located at the Town of Brookhaven Town Hall, 2nd floor, 1 Independence Hill, Farmingville, New York, 11738, in connection with the following matters. NP Winters Long Island Industrial LLC, a limited liability company organized and existing under the laws of the state of Delaware and authorized to transact business in the state of New York on behalf of itself and or the principals of NP Winters Long Island Industrial LLC and or equity investors. Tara, do you think you could help by getting people the blue cards and stuff? Thank you. Would you take a step? If you'd like to make comment, please fill it out. Just let people know, please. Okay. I'm just going to continue to read the public hearing notice.
Mm-hmm.
And or equity investors of NP Winters Long Island Industrial LLC and or an entity formed on behalf of any of the foregoing or the business of which is controlled by any of the foregoing, collectively the company, has applied to the agency for assistance in connection with A, the acquisition of 2 parcels containing approximately 271 acres of land located east of Sills Road, south of the Long Island Expressway, and adjacent on both sides of the Long Island Railroad tracks in Yaphank, New York, also known as parcels B and C, north of the Long Island Railroad tracks, and part of parcel D, south of the Long Island Railroad tracks, the land. B, the construction and equipping of approximately 2,461,000 square feet of rail contiguous warehouse and distribution facilities to be located on the land, the improvements, and the acquisition and installation therein of certain equipment and personal property, the equipment, and together with the land and the improvements, the facility, all to be leased by the agency to the company, to be subleased by the company to a tenant or tenants not yet determined, the tenants, and used as an industrial warehouse and distribution space, the project. The project will operate in an effort to attract tenants to the location, resulting in job creation and additional tax revenue for the town of Brookhaven. The facility will be initially owned, operated, and/or managed by the company. The agency will acquire a leasehold interest in the land and the improvements and title to the equipment from the company. The agency will sublease and lease the facility to the company. The agency contemplates that it will provide financial assistance to the company in the form of exemptions from mortgage recording taxes in connection with the financing or any subsequent refinancing of the facility, exemptions from sales and use taxes in connection with the construction and equipping of the facility, and abatement of real property taxes consistent with the Uniform Tax Exemption Policies, UTEP, of the agency. A representative of the agency will, at the above stated time and place, hear and accept written comments from all persons with views in favor of or opposed to either the proposed financial assistance to the company or the location or nature of the facility. Prior to the hearing, all persons will have the opportunity to review on the agency's website, brookhavenida.org, the application for financial assistance. The application for financial assistance filed by the company with the agency and an analysis of the costs and benefits of the proposed facility. Due to COVID-19 protocols, all persons attending the public hearing will be required to wear face masks and maintain proper social distancing. Dated November 26, 2021, Town of Brookhaven Industrial Development Agency by Lisa M.G. Mulligan, Title Chief Executive Officer. I know that we have some people who are interested in making comment. I'm going to read your name for the, maybe go to the door. And let's make people not go through here. I'm going to read your name for the record. Actually, you state your name for the record and your affiliation, and then you'll have 3 minutes to speak. Okay, hold on 1 second. The first comment is Marvin Colson.
Yes, good morning. My name is Marvin Colson. I represent the Brookhaven
Would you
town.
spell your name for the record, please?
Marvin, M-A-R-V-I-N, Colson, C-O-L-S-O-N.
Thank you.
And I represent the Brookhaven town NAACP. And we are requesting of the IDA as well as the town to reconsider their proposal to approve this site. And I'm going to make reference to information provided by Blarg that it's not enough that Winter Brothers Brookhaven Rail is trying to railroad a massive waste and rail transfer into an overburdened environmental justice community directly across the street from the troubled Brookhaven landfill. And they want taxpayers to pay for this. It's also not enough that Winter Brothers Brookhaven Rail has sought to skip local zoning and use the Federal Surface Transportation Board to push New York State's largest waste transfer station through. They want the taxpayers to offer them incentives to degrade our air, water, quality of life, and continue the public health assault on North Delport and other proximate areas. It's also not enough that Winter Brothers Brookhaven Rail is attempting to undo the conservation easement and clear one of the last wooded areas in an area that has already been dealing with landfill for over 50 years. And they want us to subsidize this assault on our ecological and human health. So asking again that the town and the IDA do not approve this proposal by the Winter Brothers Railroad. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Do you want to hand in your comment, or do you want it just on the record this way?
On the record.
Okay, thank you. The next card I have is from Thomas Senfelder.
That's correct.
Sir, would you like to speak?
My name is Thomas Senfelder.
Would you spell that for the record, please?
Senenfelder.
Thank you. And your affiliation?
I am affiliated with Van Ward Incorporated. I'm also a resident of Belport.
Okay.
Van Ward is a renewable energy company and a company that deals with recycling 100% of municipal solid waste without shipping it out of state. We had presented originally a proposal to do that with patented technology that's 30 years old. I look at the environment and I keenly, because I live there, I look at the long-term tax implications of what we're proposing, what the rail infrastructure really will cost over time, and what we proposed specifically to compete with Winter Brothers directly was to put in a facility which is substantially smaller with private money, and to build a facility to recycle 100% of the municipal solid waste up to 30,000 tons a day, as we were looking at taking 100% of New York City's waste previously. We look at things very differently. We don't like the idea of putting in a transfer station to transfer garbage through rail cars through New York City and out to other areas, which Winter Brothers, of course, has landfill facilities in other states. We look at the idea that this is a local problem. We should treat it, recycle it to the benefit of the citizens, not to the benefit of one private corporation. Nor do we, Van Ward, our company, we're still looking at building a facility here in Long Island to recycle 100% of the waste. We probably will build one within the New York tri-state, but we will not seek any governmental money to do what we propose to do. And our footprint is much, much smaller. So our issue with this is, as I know the people from Blog very well have been involved in some of their conversations, is the fact is nobody's looking at the long-term environmental impact of transporting waste and what that spillage of that waste is as you're going through, not just leaving out of Belport, but going all the way out through to Pennsylvania and other locations, say upstate New York or wherever they're going to transport it to. The cost of that, what it'll be the impact on the taxpayer in the long term, and how can we turn it from something that everybody sees as a negative to a positive? I don't think any of the competing technology or competing ways to actually treat this problem that we have of waste was looked at. I think everybody thought the only solution is to ship it off the island, and that's not true. So again, my thing looks at two ways: is what can we do long term to solve an issue that we have that everybody fights? They don't want it in their backyard, the landfill or the or a facility to accumulate it and ship it off. And how can we do something that not only keeps individuals like Blarg and other environmental groups happy, but at the same time create a system of revenue for the town of Brookhaven as well as Suffolk County in the long term?
Sir, that's 3 minutes. Thank you for your comments. The next, and do you think, everybody, can you turn your phones off so that we don't have?
Yes, thank you. I just
Thank you. I thought of it when I heard your phone ringing. The next the next speaker we have is Chris Ciervo. Thank you, sir. Would you state your name for the record, and you will have
My name is Christopher
3
Ciervo.
minutes.
I'm the president of the Brookhaven Village Association.
Okay.
We represent thousands of residents, and our goal is to protect and preserve our community, our environment, our health, and quality of life. On behalf of our residents, we are deeply committed to the mission, and therefore we are here to represent our constituency in terms of vehemently opposing the idea of proposed financial assistance to the MPI Winter Brothers Long Island Industrial LLC for the rail project in any portion or aspect of it, including land acquisition and any construction. Our community shares Governor Hochul's concerns in the November 29th letter to the Surface and Transportation Board that this entire unprecedented project as a whole is completely uncertain of its impacts on ours and surrounding communities and our environment. It has not gone before the proper process of federal review. It has been there before local boards for zoning, land use or environmental reviews with public hearings and community input. has not gone before the proper process. The entire project has not been reviewed by federal, local, and state health environmental agencies, so how can the IDA offer financial assistance? Until the entire project, not in bits and pieces, is thoroughly reviewed of all federal and local levels with oversight from health and environmental agencies with full disclosure to the surrounding communities, no financial assistance should be determined or granted. Thank you.
Thank you. Sir, I apologize. Would you just spell your last name for the record?
CIER, V as in Victor, O.
Thank you so much. So we have some other speakers. The next speaker is Karim Odakan. Sir, would you state and spell your name for the record, state your affiliation, and then you'll have 3 minutes.
Sure. My name is Karim Odakan. I live in Brookhaven Hamlet. I'm with the Brookhaven Landfill Action and Remediation Group and a parent in the South Country School District. I'm also a physician and a former employee of the City of New York's Department of, I'm a former city planner. I have a master's in economics at the University of Wisconsin and a master's in regional planning from Cornell. So my concern with this is the IDA application envisions a 20-year pilot for this project. And according to the UTEP that's posted on the IDA's website, the standard exemption for a warehouse is 10 years. Could you explain why there's a discrepancy?
Sir, this hearing is to accept public comment. We do not answer questions.
Is there any
So
opportunity for us to have questions answered?
your question is included in the public record.
So I would like to point out that in the cost benefit analysis that's been provided to the public, there's an error. The nominal value and the discount value of the pilot is the same. Okay, so this is underestimating the nominal cost of this tax exemption because it doesn't, it's been discounted and it's claimed to be a nominal value right now. So I just wanted to point that out. And I've actually rerun these numbers. You can find them tinyurl.com/IDA pilot winters NP. The lost revenue to the Longwood Central School District is estimated at $30 million over the 20-year term of the pilot. The lost revenue to the South Country Central School District is estimated at $25 million over the 20-year term of this pilot. This is a project that's a speculative warehouse development. There are other distribution centers like the Shirley Amazon warehouse in the William Floyd district that pay full taxes. So why are we subsidizing a speculative real developer here like North Point that has Amazon as one of its clients so that a neighboring distribution center has an IDA finance tax break while another is leased by the same company would pay less in taxes? It doesn't make any sense. In addition, the idea that I've asked a week ago to you, CEO Mulligan, whether the IDA has done any analysis that this is actually an incentive, that the IDA's package is the difference between this project happening and not happening. And none of the information that's been provided has suggested that this is an incentive, that without the IDA's package, this project wouldn't proceed. I think it's pretty clear that, even though the developer says, given the high cost of construction and operating expenses in Long Island, obtaining economic assistance is crucial to making the development of this facility feasible. Just because they say that doesn't mean it's true. And I would expect the IDA to have done an analysis showing that this is actually an incentive making the difference for this project to happen. I also want to claim that Mr. Myers from North Point's executive summary states that ongoing jobs would pay $51,000 a year in wages. I just want to point out that nearby warehouses, including the Shirley Amazon warehouse, pay significantly less. And the IDA has no clawback requirement for wages on ongoing projects. You have full-time equivalents, but not wages. So they can say anything they want. But at the end of the day, we're going to get low-road jobs, and our school district is going to be robbed. And I want to point out that this is an overburdened area. It's an environmental justice area. And our school district deserves better than what IDA is negotiating for us.
Thank you for your comments. We have one more person who's going to present, Jennifer Green.
That's right.
If you would state your name, spell your name for the record and your affiliation, and you'll have 3 minutes.
My name is Jennifer Green, JenniferGreene. I live in Bellport Village. I am here with Brookhaven Landfill Action and Remediation Group. Is that all that I need?
Yes, thank you so much.
So our position at BLARG is that there needs to be a regional waste plan in place with clear targets for waste reduction and accountability. This is the first step, and it must come before huge investments are made in new exporting waste infrastructure, which will then steer the ship of our region's waste future from out of the vacuum of good planning. And I want to emphasize that when we're talking about environmental justice process, it requires meaningful involvement and fair treatment of those who are being or could be affected. We've connected with people in Fostoria where, you know, they don't want to have Brookhaven's or Long Island's waste. It doesn't go away, it goes somewhere, and we need to be targeting waste reduction and a sustainable, rational waste management plan before proceeding with something like this. The partners of Winters Brothers, Brookhaven and Rail in this proposal have a track record. There's a 2016 article about the failure to achieve minority participation on a prior development in their home city of Kansas City. This record should be a red flag to the IDA about the possible failure to deliver on the promises associated with this IDA application. As has been mentioned, the project envisions a 20-year program of payments in lieu of taxes. As a resident of South Country School District and taxpayer, I find this request alarming and offensive. The 2020 town legislation about uniform tax exemption policy for the IDA states that warehousing and industrial developments are eligible for the standard exemption, which is 10 years, not 20 years. And I would ask, as has been raised, why is this project being considered for a tax exemption that is more expansive than the standard? Why is the project being offered a tax exemption at all?
Yes.
If this large process goes through with all the ecological, environmental, and economic fallout that others have already described, it is not appropriate that our local institutions, specifically my South Country Central School District, a high-needs school district where over 60% of the students come from economically disadvantaged households, should not receive their full allocation of taxes. Again, this project would occur, as competitors have shown all over Long Island, and as nearby as Shirley, without the IDA's financial incentives and sweetening of the pot. It is not appropriate to take 1 penny from our school district for these proposed warehouses, and waste transfer station. Children who will have to be breathing the air from these trucks, who will be having to deal with the ecological impacts from deforestation, whose families' quality of life will be reduced, should not lose 1 penny. You done? Let me think. What hasn't been covered yet? The proposal is incomplete. My understanding is that there's no analysis of the truck trips per day that will accompany this 2.5 million square feet of warehouses and associated waste transfer stations.
3 minutes are up now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. Why is the IDA having this meeting in person, but your own board meeting later today, because of the pandemic, is going to be virtual? Why couldn't we have virtual participation in this public hearing in the middle of the workday during a pandemic? Do you care about our health?
Sir, the point of this is to accept comment, not to answer questions. Your comment has been included in the record.
That's a fair point. I know there are people I know
Ma'am.
who couldn't be here today.
We have 3 minutes. You've used your 3 minutes. I'm gonna just leave this open for about 5 more minutes to see if anybody else participates. And then I'm gonna close this hearing.
Who did these analyses? Like, this is just, I'm not trying to be I'm just trying to be asking my quasi-public agency for information. There's nobody here who's, talking right now. This is, there's a mistake in here, and
It's been duly noted on the record. Thank you.
I just want to know who did it. Do you guys have financial analysts?
As far as I can tell, when I submitted something to them, we're building a plant in Antwerp, Belgium right now, in London, Ontario. I'm building one in Squamish, British Columbia. We're looking at other places around the United States. Okay, we're the largest renewable energy company in the world by contract right now. My partners in this, what we do in converting waste into renewable fuels, into renewable products. My partners are the likes of like National Grid, the partners like Enbridge, the largest pipeline company, they want to go to renewable fuels and get out and recycle 100% on site. So we actually are a positive to the environment, not a negative. And 100%. They're not looking at any competing technology or any other solutions. They're just looking at get rid of it.
Yeah, we haven't had the
And
town of
long-term
Brookhaven.
impact on the taxes will be devastating because transportation costs will rise over the next 15 years to the point where we're going to be looking at what's been put on the books with the state right now. We're going to be looking at 48 to 52 cents a kilowatt hour. And when you're looking at the revenue to dispose of the waste, instead of it being,
Excuse
say, $65 to $100 a ton, we're going to be looking at
Hearing no
200
other
to $250.
comment, I'm going to close this public hearing.
I'm an expert in this. I've been doing it for
Thank you for participating.